love ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It is Hoist the Colors on a Friday. Lot to discuss. We just left the Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium grass where we will recap the first spring scrimmage. Gotta love a nice morning, a good Friday morning scrimmage. As ECU gets that done, we'll react to that. Philip, I think, saw 4 plays. We'll get his take on those 4 plays. I saw a little bit more than that. I'll share my take. I was in the middle of writing my VIP recap for our subscribers, so I'll share some of those notes for our listeners as well. So we'll get into football. We'll talk a lot of baseball. Pirates putting the belt on last night. The Charlotte 49ers, 12-2. Starting the series off on the right foot. Now, can they follow that up with more victories? At least one more to win the series, maybe go for a sweep in these next few days. Second game tonight, 6 o'clock. All right, we've got a full house once again. I keep bringing in guests to take Bobby Harvard's spotlight, but he's a good trooper, and he's still here in his Baltimore Orioles hat. Bobby, how's it going?
It's going well. Excited for the Pirates to finish out the series, hopefully, with a W. Also excited for the Orioles are in Pittsburgh this weekend, and what's his name, Griffin for the Pirates is making his debut this afternoon. It's going to work out perfectly with a 4:15, 4:20 pitch for the O's. Then can switch over to ECU because, as we've seen this year, professional baseball tends to go a lot quicker than college baseball, probably due to the quality of pitching.
There's zero doubt about that. Even with ECU pitching well last night and it only being a 7-inning game, it still took
forever.
So, it was. Which, by the way, shout out to all the ECU baseball players. Post game, who signed my son's baseball. He got his favorite player's autograph, Grady Linehan, along with several others. So thanks to the players
Mine
for
too.
doing that. Is he your favorite player?
Grady Linehan's my favorite player.
You and Slater have something in common.
Are you bringing a baseball today to get signed?
I should. I'll bring it to post game. Just throw it at him.
There you go.
That is the voice of Jonathan Wagner, who is back for another Friday edition of the show because he once again claims he's going to cover tonight's baseball game. Although maybe he just drove into town for this show. What do you think, Wags?
Yeah, I think you just took the blame for kind of stealing Bobby's spotlight, but in reality, I just kind of tell you, hey, I'm coming to the show on Friday.
Yeah, to be fair, Bobby, I have no control over this.
Yeah,
He says
okay.
he's crashing the show. I'm like, I don't even want to invite him. He just shows up.
And Igo's too nice to tell me to go somewhere else. But today I bring a message to you, Igo, and to Philip. And when I came on this show to start the season, I made a prediction that I would be here to cover 5 ECU baseball games this season. You know what today will mark?
5.
Number 5. So, Philip, you were wrong. Igo, you were especially wrong.
I'm impressed.
So, I'm here, and I'm not stopping here either. So, I proved both of you wrong, and I just wanted to come here to your show and say I told you so.
You did. Look, we've given you crap the last couple of years, and I think rightfully so, that we've kind of been on you for this, but you made us eat the words this year, so congratulations to you and your shirt that gets picked up very oddly by our cameras. You look like the Doppler effect or something.
It really does.
Me and you were both wearing striped shirts.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on these cameras, and still rocking the mustache march there, Wags. It's April now, so now you just look like a guy who's trying to lure kids into a van or something.
Wags is actually a hologram. He's not actually here. It's between his mustache and his shirt. So, gentlemen, that is also Philip Pilkington, and we've got other people hanging out behind the glass as well.
Sorry if that was too far, Wags, but, I had to throw it in there.
Hey, with the mustache, I didn't feel right shaving it off midweek since the week started in Mustache March, so I told myself I'm going to give it through this weekend series, and then the next time I'm here, it will be long gone.
Fair enough, and we got that dub in the midweek. So
I would like to add, if the Pirates sweep this weekend, you have to keep it. You got to keep it.
You got to keep it until the winning streak loses or until it ends.
Yeah.
I'll make that deal.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Please win, Pirate baseball team. Keep this thing on. All right. Speaking of people having to eat their words like me and Philip about Wags, Lane Smith is in the chat. He said yesterday it would be 3-0 Charlotte in the top of the first with Luke Payne pitching. He says, great job by Luke Payne. I'll eat my words on that. He was awesome. Great win last night. Davin Whitaker is a dog. Pirates beat Charlotte 12-2. Run rule them. And, yeah, I mean, look, I think I predicted Luke Payne would get 2 outs. What was your official prediction in our group chat, Wags?
I said 1 2/3, and the second inning would have a hit by pitch, a walk, and a wild pitch. So, yeah, he made us all eat our words.
He pitched great, and 4 innings, 78 pitches. He came to the game with just 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks, and hat tip to Jack Carrion for also robbing that home run to start the game. But this was big, Bobby, starting this thing off with a win, and you can't drop a much better opening series W without your ace on the mound to run rule the team.
Man, you are not lying, because I did not have last night's results on my bingo card. I would have had, the Pirates 1 and 2 this weekend with their 1 win being Norby's start, and I was glad to be surprised. Now, you mentioned the Herring home run robbery. Yeah. Interesting how the momentum of that game changes potentially if that home run is not robbed. But I mentioned it to you guys when I walked in here. I do want to make this announcement and pat myself on the back. My pick to click would have been Davin Whitaker. I just knew it seemed like his bat was getting hot against UNC Wilmington. I thought he'd carry it over into this weekend, and he had a huge performance last night, obviously, as well.
Davin Whitaker, by the way, winner of Mustache March, right? So
that's right.
It's only fitting that he has the first big game after Mustache March. 2 for 4, 5 RBI, 3-run triple, which was an awesome piece of hitting right down the right field line, and then hits the homer late. And I got to be honest, I know he got in trouble for talking some smack around in the bases, which I did confirm this morning. I like it. I think this team needs some more attitude, and as long as he's not out there just like showing opposing teams up, Wags, like I kind of dig it. Going into the season, Davin Whitaker would have been the last person I expected to get a warning from an umpire for trash talking the opponent, but like I'm all for it, man.
I love it, and I think something we've talked about is this team is kind of missing that swagger, and you need kind of that attitude, that guy who is not going to be everyone's friend. He's going to piss some people off, and I love it. And not only that, but he's one of your best players. I mean, at this rate, he has to be all-conference caliber. I think I made that prediction on the podcast earlier this year that Davin Whitaker right now is probably a slam dunk all-conference player, and he's just been unreal. And, yeah, I like it, and I like it when it's one of your best players. It's one thing, no disrespect to Michael Kalinis, but last year his thing was, he was kind of an a-hole about it, the way he would pound his chest at the plate. And that's just, it's a guy coming off the bench, a guy pinch hitting. So for it to be one of your dudes that has that attitude and is setting the tone, I love it. You need more of it, I think. I think that's the kind of guys that ECU baseball was built on, the guys who kind of toe the line a little bit. So I love it. Davin Whitaker's been awesome, and he's earned the right to talk a little crap.
Yeah, when you go homer, triple, 5 RBI, you can talk some crap.
Double shy of the cycle on the week, by the way.
Yeah.
He's been a stud. By the way, shout out to Philip Pilkington, who did not make the prediction on the record, but he did say Walker Barron. You said he would hit multiple home runs, correct?
Yeah, before the show yesterday, I said multiple home runs.
Which, I mean, is a
halfway there.
Bold statement, as seen as Walker Barron. Wags informed us in the chat. That was his first ever home run at Clark LeClaire last night.
Shout out to Dylan Johnson for that information on the broadcast last night.
So, do you think he hits another one?
I'm going with it, man. He was like 0 for last weekend, man. He's too good of a hitter to not bounce back.
So Philip is all in on Walker Barron, and 12-2 guys. I mean, I'm not going to say Luke Payne's going to be like a starter going forward, or maybe he's more of an opener. I don't think you can expect this from him every week, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just more comfortable in that role. And I said going in this series, Philip, like ECU needed somebody unexpected to step up to win the series, and Luke Payne did it last night. I'm pretty sure his father was sitting right in front of me in the game. He was fired up, so it was cool to see that energy as well. Either that or the biggest Luke Payne fan in the world.
Yeah, I noticed the lady behind us had a Payne thing on, a button. So no, you're right. You did say that, and you were spot on, Stephen, when you said it. This team was gonna be able to just rely on Norby, Jenkins, and Rose to be successful. You need somebody to get there and probably have a good start, not just a good bullpen outing. And look, first off, shout out to Val who is our media relations director for baseball, she did predict over 2.5 innings that he would throw because Williams set the over-under in the press box before the game at 2.5. She said he at least threw 3, so she had faith in him. The second inning, that is why I think maybe there's a chance to at least say, hey, you know what, the jury's still out on Luke Payne. And I mean that in a good way because he was one of the guys we had written off. He's one of the guys that we said, oh, man, he's starting. This isn't good. The second inning, he lets up what should have been his second bomb. Then he walks back-to-back guys. So you're pitching with traffic now with 2 guys that you just walked. Not a guy who barreled up a ball that you caught too much white with and a guy that had a ground ball with eyes. But he walks back-to-back hitters. It never phased him. He actually went more attack on the next hitter than he had the previous 2, and he got out of it. And that is going to build his confidence. That is why I think he was successful. That is why he worked into the 5th inning. And this is maybe one of those guys, like I said, are we ready to be like, oh, man, he's a guy we trust? No, right? You can't just trust him off one outing. But I think he's back to the jury still being out, whereas it felt like he was one of the guys that was like mop-up duty.
Yeah, and you at least know it's in there now, that he's capable of going out there and giving you some innings. All right, some more from the chat. Oh, we just had a stat from Johnny Stats, and I think he deleted it. Maybe we'll bring it back. More commentary on the, trash talking about Whitaker. Spencer Scott says, Coastal always talks. Why can't we? Argue Ready says it was definitely nothing over the top. Somebody thinks he's going to wear one in his first AB. I think if you're Charlotte, you can't afford to hit him in the first inning today. So, I don't know. We'll see. Spencer also pointed out that Frank Sacone and Luke Payne have both stepped up big this week and given us innings. And Ryan says, we either need guys who are big and imposing or some guys with swagger. Bryson Worrells and Jacob Starlin. Bryson being more of the big and imposing, and Jacob Starlin having some swagger. I don't know, Bobby. Like, you want to see that? I've kind of said this ECU team, they haven't been boring to watch, but they've been non-exciting. So at times, so I like the energy last night in Clark and Clare. Maybe it's because I was sitting in the stands with my 4-year-old son who had a great time, but like the energy was. It felt like the best I've seen. I don't know how it came across on TV to you guys.
Yeah, I didn't get to tune in until like the 6th inning because we were out to eat with my wife's family, and then, getting the kids to bed is a whole fiasco in and of itself. Yep. But I had the game on and was kind of monitoring and checking the score, but it just seemed like there was energy throughout the lineup. Like it seemed like there was confidence. Another word I'm stealing here from Phillip, and just building off his point is not only does that give Luke Payne confidence going forward, that gives the defense behind him some confidence because they have confidence that he's going to be aggressive and attack the batter, and that gives them confidence playing behind him. But just the energy is what we were missing, and it's interesting because going into the series, I had texted you and Phillip yesterday, reading your preview going into this weekend, I was kind of blown away how well it seemed like Charlotte had attacked the portal. And I had even mentioned this is kind of what I had hoped for with ECU, attacking the portal the way that Charlotte did, bringing in power hitters. Because in my opinion, I understand Cliff's strategy, but the last few years, and we've kind of seen it, it really relies heavily on everybody kind of in the lineup being in a zone and being able to put the ball in play, and that just has not been happening recently. And it's hard to change the game if you don't have a power bat in the lineup. And so I was very curious if my theory and philosophy was going to be proved wrong, and so far through one game it has. So I'm curious how the rest of the weekend plays out.
Yeah, and ECU won the first game against UTSA last weekend and lost the next 2. So still a lot of work to be done. As somebody pointed out in the chat here, that, Cameron says, need to win this game today, tired of blowing teams out, and then coming back next game, not scoring a run. That has been an issue at times. Johnny Stat saying the Pirates are now 18-3-1 when they score at least one run in the first 3 innings and 0-9 when they don't. So
well, and that's my next thing.
Yep.
That I think that's the next step for this team is consistency. Yep. I think it's just been so inconsistent, not even just from weekend to weekend, but within the series, game to game. And I think that's really the next step for this team for me to get my belief back in them.
Building off Johnny Stat's point there, yes, you got to score early. You also got to score with 2 outs, 16-4-1 when scoring a run with 2 outs.
That's pretty incredible. It's 6 spots yesterday in the second and all with 2 outs, starting with that Whitaker triple. Wags, we know it's Norby tonight. Also, Charlotte didn't throw its ace yesterday. They did throw their best, probably overall pitcher, their best reliever. He gave up those 6 runs in the inning, Joseph Taylor. Eddie Copper will go today. He's 3-1 with a 2.45 ERA, 34 strikeouts against 16 walks in 29 innings. Opponents hitting just 188 against him. We know what Norby did last week. I don't know if you can expect that again, but I would expect less runs today, just given the pitching matchup, but you never know in college baseball.
Yeah, you're right. I will say I love the decision to keep Norby on Friday. I said coming in on the podcast that that's what I would do. He's coming off of his 2 best starts of the season, and he threw 97 and 108 pitches. So I was terrified of moving him up, him not quite bouncing back in time on a day short rest, and then, boom, he has a bad game, you shoot his confidence again, and then who knows what happens from there. So I love that decision. But yeah, it's, now you just run-ruled Charlotte to open the series, and you go into Friday night with your guy, and it's good from that standpoint, but at the same time, the same is true for them. They got run-ruled yesterday, but now they're going into a chance to tie the series with their guy in the rotation. So pressure's on the bats, but, Luke Payne, I think his start was the most important start for ECU this season, maybe the most important individual performance of the season, just because it sets a tone. Last weekend on Saturday, Towers gives you 0.0. He doesn't get you an out. And then coming into the week, I'm like, okay, well, Towers probably isn't going to get you 0.0 again. So some of those outs that you're trying to replace are going to be made up by him alone. But Payne doing it on Thursday out of the gates, it sets a tone for the weekend. Your pitching staff's in a great spot now. You have all your guys, maybe except for Webb today. But yeah, I feel pretty good. But to me, the pressure's on the bats. It always is on these games, like we just said. But if the offense scores, probably 5-6 runs today, I think I'm feeling pretty good about a series win.
We're only one game into the series for every team in the conference, but how about UAB? Sole possession of first place right now. And ECU has handed them their only 2 losses in conference. They have not lost since they fell those first 2 games in Greenville. South Florida, UTSA, Wichita, Rice, and ECU all 4-3 in the league. Charlotte, Tulane 3-4, FAU, Memphis 2-5. So this is a true jumbled up standings for the American, and I think it'll continue that way for a couple more weeks till we get some separation. Hopefully ECU on the right side of that separation. If they can win the series, maybe get a sweep, it would go a long way towards getting back towards really the top of the league for the long haul. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We may get some more baseball discussion in later, but we're going to talk spring football next. We heard from Blake Harrell. We heard from Brock Spalding. We heard from Ryan Roseborough. And we saw the Pirates scrimmage for the first time this spring. I'll share some thoughts on that. We'll get some reaction to that as well. This is Hoist the Colors.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Oh, hey, welcome back. You got here just in time. This is Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here on a Friday. We just talked a lot of baseball. We'll talk some football here in a minute. Shout out to Basil's. Check them out, 1675 East Fire Tower Road. They're bringing you Bobby Howard's appearance today over by the AMC movie theater. And they've got great sandwiches, pizza, salads, pasta, and more. So appreciate Basil's support of the program. We got Jonathan Wagner in hanging out. Spring football, huge spring football fan. We'll get his take on what's going on with the Pirates here shortly. Also, Philip Hilkinen behind the glass. He was out there this morning. Some general thoughts. Check out hoistthecolors.net later for more in-depth thoughts. I'm writing that up now. But saw our most extensive look at the quarterbacks this morning. Emory Williams, Mitch Griffiths going at it in a competition. You know, Mitch Griffiths, to me, looks a little bit more comfortable in the offense right now, which isn't a surprise given the fact that he was basically in the same offense at Texas Tech. He's got a little bit more experience, but he just seemed to get the ball out quicker, be a little bit more decisive. Kind of a gunslinger, too, is what stood out to me. Like, he makes throws on the run. He's not afraid to push the ball down the field. He's not afraid to take shots. That did lead to some balls being put in harm's way. He had a turnover in the red zone at one point, but also made a lot of big plays. Also drew a couple PIs downfield by giving it to his receivers in one-on-one coverage, so that was promising. Emory Williams, I saw some really good stuff from him as well. Accurate with the football despite being a bigger guy. A little bit more methodical getting it out, but didn't put the ball in harm's way, at least when I was out there. I only saw the last half of the scrimmage. But, also has good arm talent. I would like to see him maybe take a few more shots. Maybe that'll come when he gets more comfortable in the offense. But I saw enough from both quarterbacks to feel pretty good about the position. Was it perfect? No. It's also spring scrimmage number 1. Defense probably a step ahead overall. Tackling was pretty good for a first spring scrimmage from what I noticed from them going live. I thought the coverage was pretty good. Individual standouts to me, Ray Joseph, Miami receiver transfer, made a ridiculous play on a short catch in the slot, broke some ankles on the way to a long touchdown run, also evaded a tackle near the goal line for a score that was one of the most electric spring scrimmage plays I've seen in the last few years. He continues to come along. Also, Jeremiah Melvin, Wake Forest receiver transfer on the outside. They brought him in due to his size. If he didn't catch a jump ball, he was drawing PI just because of his size on the perimeter. So those two guys were very impressive to me at the receiver position. Offensive line, I thought looked solid in pass pro. They were moving some chess pieces around. Then defense, I didn't notice any real busted coverages. They did force a fumble at one point. They also had that nice pick on Griffiths in the red zone. So I saw a lot of good things overall. And I know you weren't out there, Bobby, but when you hear the first spring scrimmage was, they can be sloppy at times, and there was some sloppiness, but I thought overall pretty sharp considering what the circumstances were.
Yeah, I mean it's super encouraging to hear that, and then just thinking from a coaching perspective, it's Jordan Davis's first opportunity to really call it with ECU. I know he called the bowl game, but it's going to be good practice for him as well. That's what spring practice is. Going to be so important for this coaching staff, especially the offensive side, learning how to work together and gel together. So that's a big piece of it. And it's not surprising to hear the offense is a little bit behind the defense. That's kind of normally the case. And then let alone the defensively, they're essentially retaining most of the scheme. And then at the quarterback position, it, like you just mentioned, is expected. Like, just like it's expected that the defense is a little bit of ahead retaining the scheme, Mitch Griffiths is coming from a place that ran exactly the same offense almost. He's a more veteran quarterback, so he's going to be more comfortable back there. I'd imagine it won't be probably until mid to late fall camp that Emory Williams starts feeling a lot more comfortable. And then that's when it will be very curious to see, okay, as he gets more comfortable, does his talent take him above Mitch Griffiths, or do they feel comfortable enough with Mitch? I think either way, you feel comfortable with these two guys being able to take snaps as QB1. So that's, again, a huge part. And then the last thing I'll mention is glad to hear about Ray Joseph, because I think that's who we had all hoped Jaquez Petaway would be and turn into, that just never panned out. And then also, to me, the biggest eye I'm keeping on, or the guy I'm keeping the closest eye on this spring and throughout fall camp, and I think is really going to be one of the most important pieces to the offense, is Melvin. Because if he can be a hit, then you have a guy that can stretch the field vertically and make plays downfield. And, you know, when I saw his recruitment and him coming in here, immediately I thought, like, yeah, numbers, everything off the chart, like, would probably look like a freak at the NFL Combine and get people drooling over his numbers and those sort of things. But does it all get put together on the field, and can he make plays in game situations? And if he can do that, I think that can take this offense to another level.
Bob, I do have one question for you. You know, we heard the defense won the scrimmage. We know that that's something that's very common. Starting at the middle school level all the way up through the NFL, usually defense wins scrimmage one. It's almost gotten to the point where you're almost worried, right, if offense wins scrimmage one. So why do you think the defense is so far ahead? And obviously this is a good thing to hear. And it sounds like it was pretty tight. It just came down to one or two plays, and really the offense just kind of put the ball in harm's way. But that's something that's just, hey, man, it's going to happen, especially when you're trying to make plays early in games, early in the spring.
I'm not going to lie, it cut out, so I did not hear his question.
He was basically asking, why do you think the defense is usually ahead of the offense in spring? And it's almost more worrisome if your defense gets beat in the first scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, it is more worrisome if the defense is a little bit behind, because then that means you're probably getting gashed throughout the season. Offensively, I think so much of it is the rhythm and continuity. You know, with defensive football, you have your zones and your gap responsibilities and all that stuff kind of stays the same throughout football, whether it's high school, college, NFL. I mean, things are called differently, alignment is differently, but the ultimate goal is the same. And then offensively, it's just all about continuity, rhythm, playing together, especially, you know, those positions are so dependent on each other. And that's what makes it unique as well. I mean, quarterbacks dependent on the offensive line to hold up their pass protection, is also dependent on the wide receivers to find their correct yardage and distance and being able to get separation to become open. Running backs dependent on the offensive line as well. So it's just a whole bit.
All right, Philip is if you're watching our live, you can see Philip trying to
got a 4-man table over here,
trying to fix his earpiece. Josh says, what are the odds both quarterbacks playing in game one? I mean, I would think that if you're Blake Carroll, you want one guy. The problem is you're playing Alabama. And so, like, the score may dictate you play both guys just because it gets out of hand. But also, like, what can you really take away from playing Alabama and Tuscaloosa WAG? So, like, I don't know. I mean, I think you want one guy, and hopefully it looks good enough to where you just roll with that guy. But Alabama's going to be a tough measuring stick for whoever's back there.
Yeah. Personally, I would say it's almost like a guarantee both guys are going to see at least a snap against Alabama. Just I don't expect it to be close. Alabama's just, I know they're not the Alabama that we're used to the past few years, but exactly, they're still Alabama. The talent level, there's still a big gap there. So, but yeah, I think, you know, like we said, Mitch Griffiths probably is the more refined college quarterback. He just has more experience playing on the field. So I'm not surprised that Emory's a little behind right now. But, you know, I think coming in, Emory was the guy that most people were a little more excited for. So I think we're going to see that battle progress deep into the preseason. And, you know, who knows where it goes. But I'm interested to see, you know, running game. And last year, I think the running game wasn't probably what we all wanted it to be. But the best way to help out a quarterback and a new system with a new team is to be able to run the ball. So I'm hoping that the running backs, and I know it's first scrimmage of spring, so how the running backs do doesn't really mean all that much right now. But to me, that's one of the more underrated storylines, I think, going into the new season is how does a running back do, and how does the offensive line run block too, because there's a lot of new pieces up there.
That's a fair point. And, yeah, when I was out there, I didn't see Ashton Gray get a carry, and also TJ Engelman was in a red jersey, which usually means, no contact. So I saw Michael Allen get stuffed at the goal line a few times during the defense-offense period towards the end when they were doing kind of a red zone drill. ECU also, that was when Ray lost a fumble, so that's why the defense won that drill. The offense would move the ball, get down to the 2, and then turn it over. So I don't know if Philip, you had something to add.
Yeah, I just think it was kind of obvious that, and Blake hit on it there after. You can listen to his post-game comments on Hoist Colors and our social medias, but a lot of these offensive line guys, they're playing a lot of different positions.
They are.
And because they were playing a lot of different positions, he even mentioned it, sometimes I think they were getting more reps than the defensive guys. And because, hey, we want to see this guy at both left tackle and right tackle. We want to see this guy at both guard and center. And it just kind of seemed like late there when the fire off the ball, the defense was able to keep their hips a little lower. And it is a little easier to keep your hips lower as a D lineman as opposed to an offensive lineman, but still, they looked a little more fresh. Coach Tesh is going to rotate all 13, 14 guys, especially on a day like today. So I think that had a little bit to do with it. And still, also, you're playing multiple positions on the offensive line with new calls. It's a whole new system. So for a lot of these guys, or for all these guys, so I don't know. I think that's part of the reason maybe the running backs didn't have some breakout carries, but. Look, that's part of it, especially in a first scrimmage.
And we also know that if there's one thing ECU's defense is going to do, it's going to be stop the run. I mean, that's what they pride themselves on, Coach Tesh. And, the goal line stand, we saw it was Preston Carr, Ryan Roseborough, Josiah Robinson, those guys on the field. So, those guys pride themselves on goal line stops and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, I think overall the spring's going well. I'll just say from covering the team, having Blake Harrell in charge of the program, I don't know, there's just such a, good ease over the program. It's not like they're out there just, being lackadaisical, but, the vibes are just good. When Mike Houston was running it, it just always felt so tense out there. And now, and part of it, that is spring ball, but part of it is, too, just the way Blake runs things, Bobby. It just feels – I just feel like he gets the most out of his players, his coaches, by the way he runs things. Even with the media, he came over, he's like, hey, I don't care if y'all, are out here a little early. Let's just make sure we just don't put anything out there that, that would hurt us as far as formations plays. So I don't know. He can get on guys when he needs to, but I just love the way he's operating things right now.
Well, and it allows the players to be loose. I think that's the most important. They're able to play free. They're not as much walking on pins and needles, worried about making a mistake, which ultimately makes a successful football program. I mean, you want those guys playing free, playing open, and playing confident. And when you have more of a not as militaristic kind of program, that allows you to do something like that.
All right, so there is your football discussion. Again, we did hear from Blake after the practice, along with Brock Spalding and Ryan Roseborough. I thought all three interviews were good, informative, so check that out. They're up on our Hoist the Colors and 94.3 The Game YouTube pages, and we'll react to those more maybe next week as well. But good spring football report. Also stay tuned for more on Hoist the Colors coming up later today as well as far as a VIP practice report. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll continue on after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef. Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
In Eastern North Carolina, people appreciate things that are straightforward, honest, and dependable. For decades, our team has focused on cutting through insurance complexity for the communities we serve. And now, we're bringing that same mindset to our name. We're Flatlands Insurance Group, a simpler name that reflects the same local team, the same values, and the same commitment to the great communities we feel blessed to be a part of. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world is covered.
At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Steve and Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors. Third segment here on a Good Friday. Appreciate Bobby Harward, Jonathan Wagner being in here along with Philip Pilkington. And big fantasy matchup going on between me and Wags. The Seattle Smash currently holding an 8-2 lead over Welcome to the Wit Show heading into the weekend. Our lineups are hitting 147 and 214 respectively, so that gives you an idea of how it's going. Speaking of MLB, guys, I'm on MLB.com right now. 4 of the first 5 headlines are about Connor Griffin, top prospect coming up, 19-year-old, making his debut as a teenager. He is the 13th player since 2000 to do so as a teenager. Joining the likes of Bryce Harper. Also, I just had the list and lost it. Juan Soto, former Nats legend. B.J. Upton, Justin Upton, Bobby's favorite players of all time. Felix Hernandez, former Mariner, on that list as well. So, I don't know. Are the Pirates actually fun to watch now, Wags? Are you going to be tuning in some Pittsburgh Pirate games?
Probably. But my only question to that is how many of those guys on that list you just rattled off won a World Series in that year they came up when they were 19? Because I'm pretty sure the answer is one.
Juan Soto. And Soto was a big prospect, but was he – I almost feel like he was ahead of schedule when they called him up, and then he just stayed up because he was that good.
Because he was in AA when we called him up. And everyone was like, okay, it might be a little early, but then he came up, and it's like, okay, very quickly saw why. So – but, yeah, I mean, Connor Griffin, he's legit. He's the #1 prospect in baseball for a reason. But, but I'm glad for the Pirates. I'm glad for Pirates fans. I'm glad for C.J. Schaefer.
I was going to say, are you going to actually say that? I was wondering if that was going to be your next sentence.
The only Pirates fan
But I'm glad for them. They have Skeens. I know it was a tough start to the year for Skeens, but now they have that exciting young building block in the lineup. So Pirates fans, they've gone through a lot, cheap owners, but it's glad to see them. I'm glad to see them have a piece like that, and not only have a piece like that, but go ahead and lock him up. They are finalizing, I believe, his big long-term deal before he makes his debut. So it's good to see. It's good for baseball.
It is, but let's not feel too bad for Pirates fans, okay? Because during the same time they've suffered, they've also had Sidney Crosby and Ben Roethlisberger and all these other championships. So we can only feel so bad for Pirates fans.
How do we feel about these contracts where they pay guys? The Mariners just gave their top prospect, Colt Emerson, a massive deal, $95 million, I think 8 years, and it seems like a bargain if it works out, but like we've also seen this backfire too. Like these huge contracts for guys even prove it at the big league. It kind of scares me, honestly, as a Mariners fan.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, Boston gave Christian Campbell a big contract last year after having 2 really good weeks to start the season, and then he spent the whole season in AAA because he went in the crapper, right? So, you know, it's part of it, but also, man, when you look at a guy like, I think also Boston, like with Roman Anthony, like we've got him for couch change right now for the, you know, for the next 8 years for the player that he could end up being. So I think with baseball and no salary cap, you're better off just going ahead and getting them on the deal that's going to be cheaper than what they should be worth, because then you can go out and get free agents. You know, your owner's going to have the pockets to, and if you don't hit on the guy or the guy doesn't work out, you know, you can eat the money. I mean, it kind of is what it is at that point. You just eat it. You call it a day. You release him. You pay his cap, or you pay his money, and it is what it is. So I think the way baseball's structured, I have no problem with it because it's honestly working. It kind of stinks for the players. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they're signing this as early as they are, but it also is safe for them in case they bomb out.
Well, and what's interesting to me with the Connor Griffin situation is a lot of the guys that, you know, really got famous signing these kind of contracts were not from the United States. So they were from poor countries and never had seen this kind of money. So it was a chance to jump on that as well. And as you mentioned, I mean, it's a, high-risk scenario for both sides because, like, just look at the Orioles, for example. I would have loved for them, like 3 years ago, to have locked up Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman. Gunnar Henderson would have been a steal. Adley Rutschman would have some question marks. He's hitting better this year, but, you know, it's still he hasn't been great the last season and a half.
Let's get a quick check-in on all of our teams. The Mariners, for me, they're 3-4. They're like they are just kind of going through the motions right now. So we'll see if that changes. Don't really have much to take away other than the fact that none of their big hitters are hitting, and they've still managed to win 3 games. Bobby's Orioles are 3-3. How do you feel about your O's thus far?
You know, it was a disappointing series against Texas. I was kind of, concerned. It's hard to get concerned 6 games into a Major League Baseball season, but still, the pitching has been there. I'm happy with that. They have a great 2 sets here with the Pirates and the White Sox to kind of get back in the win column a little bit more.
Can't sleep on the Pirates anymore, man.
You can't. I tell you what, though, they do have some exciting bats in their lineup. It is still a lineup of misfits. You got Marcell Ozuna, Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lowe, and then you got O'Neal Cruz and Connor Griffin. Like, what are we doing here? And that's not even mentioning Joey Bart, who was like one of the biggest prospect busts, who's maybe making a return.
Break up the Washington Nationals. Speaking of not being able to sleep on them anymore, can you say 500, Wax? 3-3, baby.
Hey, 500 and should be 4-2. You know, they had
really
a
should be
5-2 or 5-3 lead going into the series finale against the Phillies, and they brought in the guy who started the day before to close out the game because he was an opener, and then we went to extra innings, and I kind of knew it was chalk from there, and the Phillies won it. But great start for the Nats because they look like they belong on a Major League Baseball field. Joey Wiemer has been a revelation, but I'm ready for James Wood to start turning it up average-wise a little bit. Dalen Lyle's been hitting well. But, yeah, it's overall just I'm glad to see it's fresh. It's different. We don't have these old dinosaurs that don't know anything about analytics or anything, that just refuse to adapt to the game that is today in our old regime. So it's nice to see a change of pace. It's nice to see competent baseball. And I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts because I still think the talent disparity is going to catch up eventually.
Well, and you still have the learners as the owner of the franchise, which I
was waiting for my chance to talk on the giving big contracts to your guys because must be nice because the Nats have a few guys that I'd love to do that, but there's just no chance.
You are 22 minutes away from first pitch against the Dodgers where that talent gap may start to show up. So,
hey, the Nats had 2 early series against the Dodgers last year, and my memory tells me they went 500 in those series, but at the very least, they look like they belong. Same thing. But, Nats are going to sweep and win the World Series.
You want to know my favorite thing about the Nationals? The fact that they play at like 10 or 11 a.m. on the 4th of July. Because you can watch Joey Chestnut pound some hot dogs, win the hot dog eating competition, then flip it open, pop a cold beer, and watch baseball starting at 11 a.m. for the rest of the day.
I get what you're saying, but, man, it's already a holiday. You already got stuff going on. My team plays at 11 a.m. on a random 3rd Monday of April, man, a day where everybody really is just grinding through your workday. You can flip it on there and watch Red Sox baseball on Patriots Day, man.
Hey, that Nats July 4th game, it's relevant. It is against potentially Paul Skeens and Connor Griffin and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There you go. Could be a great day. of baseball. I went to the Chicago Cubs a few years ago on July 4th. It was awesome when they played the Phillies. There are 3 1-5 teams tied for last in Major League Baseball. Can you guys name them?
I know one of them.
Well, I can hear some room over in the box over there behind Philip, I think, telling us the answer. So
yeah, no. He was just happy. Isaiah was just happy that it's not the Nationals this year. Yeah. So I think I want to say it's Sacramento or whatever the hell they're called.
Just the Athletics.
The Athletics.
MLB.com.
The Red Sox and
the other Sox.
No, the White Sox.
Yep.
Yeah, what Alex Cordes needs to tell them is he needs to tell them this is a very simple game. You hit the ball, you throw the ball, you catch the ball. Because right now we are lollygagging the ball over the infield. We're lollygagging down to first base. Our big free agent acquisition for the offseason is 0 for 18. We finally hit the ball worth a damn the other day, and Crochet gets shelled. I mean, look, it's over. The road trip is done. It's a 156-game season, baby. Let's just wipe it from our memories. To hell with the first 6. And it's opening day in the world's most beloved ballpark today in just over an hour. So
I'll add, y'all are minus 15 run differential, which is brutal. The White Sox have a minus 31 run differential already, which is just almost
6 games in.
It's so hard to do.
It's impressive.
The crazy thing is going into our 6 games, so through 5 games, we were being outscored 18-1 in the first 3 innings. Like, we're just getting hammered early. We can't push guys across early.
Your starting
the first couple
games,
getting torn up. Starting pitchers are getting torn up. I mean, the good thing is we got like 6 more starting pitchers on the IL who are not even supposed to be as good as these guys. But if these guys fold, like, I don't know how good our bats are, I don't know how good our bullpen is. But we've got like 10 starting pitchers. So
Spencer Scott says it's a bad day to be an athlete or a sock in terms of the A's. And
really bad day
Sox.
to be an athletic sock.
This is very true. All right. Also, the Marlins are 5-1. Connor Norby off to a solid start with Miami, and Clayton McCullough obviously leading them up. How about Gavin Williams the other day? Wags just carving up. He's always been able to throw hard, but like his movement now is incredible, man. I think honestly I got to give a lot of credit to the Guardians because they consistently overachieve, and they've found something with Gavin with his curveball and the movement on his fastball. He looks almost like a completely different pitcher now.
Yeah, and it's funny. Before the season, I was talking with some of my friends who are not from ECU. They're not as well tuned into baseball, but we're talking about the Guardians and Gavin, and they were like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's a good number 2. He's going to potentially be their guy. Didn't know exactly where he was going to start at that point, but I'm like, I don't know if he's an ace in an MLB. And they were saying, no, he's a good ace, and you should feel good about it for Cleveland. And now, I mean, look at him. I mean, he just did that to the Dodgers. And, I mean, Miles McCullough is about to do that to the Dodgers too. But, but yeah, it's been awesome for Gavin. And he handed the ball to Sean Armstrong after shoving 7 innings against the Dodgers the other day. So, pirate on pirate. Yeah, it's awesome to see. And I think we're going to see some more about that. Alec Burleson's had a solid start to the year. Connor Norby is hopefully going to have a good year, and Zach Agnos too. We had Agnos versus Norby already.
That is true, yeah.
So,
one of the things that I thought was the most interesting thing and the best thing about Gavin's start too, 10 Ks, 3 walks, pair of hits, 85 pitches in 7 innings. Like, that just shows you how efficient he is. If you strike out 10 guys in 7 innings, your pitch count should be up near 100, especially with 3 walks. So, it's 13 ABs that went the distance, I guess, for lack of a better actual term. So, just an efficient 10 Ks.
All right, there's your quick MLB talk. We're all big baseball fans here, so we got to get some chat in, even though there's still 156 or 155 games left for most teams in the league. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with some Final Four talk, whatever else these guys want to hit on after this.
Get ready to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota with major deals on brand new Toyotas like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $279 a month. Now's your turn to save at Greenville Toyota.
In Eastern North Carolina, hard work matters, and it always has. At Flatlands Insurance Group, we've been showing up for our neighbors since 1963, helping families and business owners navigate change, weather tough seasons, and keep moving forward. Decades later, our purpose hasn't changed: to help protect what you've poured your time and energy to, from your home to your health to whatever comes next. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future, your college. Pitt Community College. Register now.
Bring on the savings with new Toyotas from $159 a month at Greenville Toyota. Get huge discounts like Corolla's $159 a month or Tacoma's $249 a month. Save today at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Visit Larry's Steakhouse for a tender, hand-cut certified Angus ribeye. Other entrees include perfectly seasoned pork chops, chicken, or seafood favorites like shrimp, tuna, and salmon. Complement your meal with Larry's fresh 20-plus item salad bar, or enjoy it as an all-you-can-eat entree. Daily rotating favorites include meatloaf, chicken pastry, hamburger steak, spaghetti, pork chops, and more, all complemented with your favorite country sides. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or our Sunday brunch, remember to support and eat local. Larry's Steakhouse.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Back in Hoist the Colors here on a Friday. Good Friday, hanging out. Appreciate everybody listening on this day. We've got Bobby Harwood, Jonathan Wagner, and Philip Pilkin in the final few minutes of the show. Final Four starts tomorrow. How you guys' bracket looking, Wags and Bobby?
My bracket's long gone. I threw them both. I print them all. I print the two main ones I do out every year so I can keep score manually and just follow along. I threw them out, I think, a week and a half ago. So, yeah.
Do you have any Final Four teams left?
I know I have Michigan and Arizona.
Okay.
I know I had that side of it, but in one of my brackets I had Florida as my runner-up. One of them I had Houston as my runner-up. So, it's not looking good.
You still have your champion, Bobby.
I have my champion, and I have Michigan. But I had Florida and Michigan State on the other side, which was completely wiped out. I mean, I'm doing terrible. I think I'm in like the 50-something percentile, according to ESPN.
Could be worse.
Could be worse, yeah.
Where does the Final Four fall on you guys' must-watch meter?
If it is a team I don't – if like Duke or ECU are not in it, I could care less about the Final Four, quite honestly. I more care about the first weekend because of all the games going on and the upsets and the funness of it all than I do the Final Four.
I think I'll try and catch some of Illinois, Connecticut, but, I mean, if I miss it and it's not a good game, I probably won't turn it on and won't be heartbroken. But Michigan, Arizona, I am going to try to sit down and watch because I feel like that's going to be a banger.
Yeah, okay, I got a question for you guys. Is this irresponsible of my friend? So my friend 2 months ago was offered tickets to the Charlotte FC game Saturday night. He said yes. Is that irresponsible, not paying attention to when the Final Four is? He is a diehard UConn fan.
Yes.
100%.
I mean, if you are
it's unacceptable.
Diehard fan of a basketball school.
He played college basketball too.
Yep.
Like, he knows, and he's like, man, to be fair, I didn't think we were going to make it that far. I'm like, Bobby, I mean, he doesn't know who Bobby is, but Bobby texted me 2 months ago and was like, hey, man, Hornets, Celtics, you trying to go? And I was like, Duke might be in the East region. And the East Regional Final will probably be at 5:40 that Sunday. They might get beat, but they might not. So, no, sorry, Bobby. And sure enough, we probably should have went to the damn game because now I'm just ticked off. But same thing. Like, people were like, hey, man, you want to go to the race at Martinsville? No. Duke might play. Like, I just think it was irresponsible of them. I'm giving him a lot of crap.
In my Hoist the Colors bracket, I just pulled it up. My champion is also still alive. I had Arizona, but the rest of my Final Four was Iowa State, Florida, and Duke. So thanks a lot, Philip.
How many brackets?
Hey, I didn't tell them to hold the damn ball with
Only
16
like
minutes
5.
left. Thank John Shire.
Yeah, I did one for Hoist the Colors. I did one for On 3. I did my 2 main ones, and I did some of the ones. I did like 3 on ESPN, but one of them was the same bracket that I did.
I just can't fill out a different bracket.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, it messes with my mind too much.
The
I
older-
can't have 2 fantasy teams as well.
The
that I don't
older
care
I
about.
get, the more I'm like that. Fantasy football, I'm used to having like 5 leagues at a time, but I've cut down because I just can't do it. It takes the fun out of rooting.
You get
'cause
the
don't know who to root for.
crossover, and you're like,
Yeah.
Well, also, we're so invested in this Dynasty League, though, now, Wags.
Oh, that's all I
that's
care
got a
about.
lot to do with it. But I'm with you. Yeah, I used to do, like, the max amount of brackets. But now I'll do, like 2 main ones for my 2 money things and then do, like, 1 maybe fun one.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we are out of time. This was fun. Appreciate you, Bobby.
Yep.
Wags. Hopefully you don't get the shape of the mustache, even though I'm kind of tired of looking at it. But appreciate you coming in. And Philip, thank you. Thanks to your friends behind the glass as well for helping out. And we'll be back Monday, 12 noon. Maybe we'll be recapping a Pirate sweep. We'll find out. Hopefully at least a series win. This has been Hoist the Colors. We'll see y'all Monday.